What's poppin', Bill? I ain't know too much. Let me turn on this light. What's going on, Facebook, man? Facebook, I'm not Facebook. YouTube, man. YouTube, man. I hope y'all like my little commercial I did yesterday. I came up with that all by myself. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do more. But this is my I broadcast on Facebook. My Facebook, Robin Beijing can use every day I'm in the shop, which is normally Wednesday through Sunday. 1 to 4:30. But I do broadcast on here every Saturday. Now I'm your host with the Holy Ghost, Beijing King. And I got questions, man. Questions to my superpower. Now I have really good questions. Simple questions, you know what I'm saying? Uh, I also know a lot of people look at me and get their spiritual insight. I was the guy who was in Kansas City doing the pull up for prayer every Friday. I would do 2 hours. I would read the word out loud and pretty much just have a relationship with God on the corner. Anybody can join in the circle and get in it. So the book today that we're reading is Philippians. Read Philippians. The focus verse is Philippians 5:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So read Philippians, the full book. Yeah, man. Questions. I can't write them on here, but I can on my Facebook. So I got a list of questions. What's going on? If you're watching this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. What's sweet? Yeah, do me a favor. That's right over here. Near mine. Any more than say you here on the age right here, bro. Pass, whatever, little bit, whatever. Thank you, Daddy. Who's taking it, man? DJ Diana Monette. DIYANNA Monette. She be rocking my barbershop. Find out this is bad, man. Alright, so I ain't gonna hold it no more. I was trying to wait for people to get on. I can ask it again at any time. But so my first question: does their past body count matter? If you have a relationship with someone who's had lots of sex in their past, as a believer, we're supposed to overlook people's what's going on? Orangey, hi, how you doing? A lot of eyes, I like that. As a believer, we're supposed to exercise knowing people's sin as far from the east is to the west. Meaning that when they come to Christ, they come as a new creation. All those things are passed away and become new. But let's be honest, we're fleshly too. And a lot of the times we scrutinize the whole thing against people that Christ will be like, well, I ain't hold that against you. Yeah, but I hold that against you. So, does it always matter? No, some relationships don't matter. And, the fact that they overlook that, you got a good relationship with God. But in certain instances, um, yeah, that matters. And ain't nobody gonna mess with you if you've been around the block too many times. You know what I mean? What you think, Orangey? Please subscribe. Hit subscribe. Don't just say hi with a bunch of eyes. Hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. My question is, does their past body count matter? Orangey, not the troll. You on EBT, boy? Yeah, I am on EBT. I love you. Does their past body count matter? You want me to take my do-rag off? No, that's not how you ask me. You say, please, sir. Um, does their past body count matter? Can you have a relationship with someone who's had lots of sex in their past? That's the question. People got the answer. Let me know. Not a troll. You're doing very troll-like things. Telling me to be a good boy. I am a king. Come on, man. I ask new questions every 16 minutes, y'all. So at 1:15, I'll ask the Lord. No, but I bet you would, not a troll. You should be a barber, a private barber. Not a troll. You are creeping me out, man. And the next creepy question you ask, I'm gonna figure out how to block you, bro. Really creepy. So stop being a creep. And answer the question, man. Maybe you didn't hear the question, so I'll ask it again. I said, does their past body count matter? Can you have a relationship with someone who's had lots of sex in their past? Hell no. Miller chimed in. He said, no. He said he don't care about none of that. He said you were scrutinized.
I think you cared, like you said, you cared about yourself. You know what I'm saying? All about, all the added value.
Hey man, you can't tread lightly, boss.
Can't say you
I'm
care
one of them
about,
people who's had a bunch of it.
like,
And
and be honest with yourself, you care about yourself at that time.
yeah,
You cared about yourself?
yeah,
So you care about yourself at
yeah,
that time?
yeah.
Like, so, like, your past, like, even with the stuff you did in your past, if you're addicted to stuff,
Yeah, I
that's
didn't
caring
do it
about yourself.
expecting. I didn't do it expecting to die. Remember, I didn't do it expecting to hurt myself. I was just doing it in the name of having what I thought was a good time.
And caring about yourself, you can have a good time and not do all that.
Yeah, but I wasn't raised around people who taught me in that way. So now I'm faulted for what I learned.
But
Am I faulted for what I learned? That's my question. You're about to overlook my question. I don't like it. Am I faulted for what I learned?
uh, no, because you're an adult when you did it. It's different to a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like if your mom and dad let you steal coming up, at the store, and you got 19, and you know what's wrong, you still continue to do it, they not being held accountable. Like they say, it is the law of bliss. They don't care that you don't know that. Oh, just because you're from Mexico, you live in Mexico, you come to the United States, and things are different. They're still going to hold you accountable as if you know the law of this land. So, what I'm saying? So everybody knows that stealing is bad. That's like as much as you want to say common sense and common knowledge is not common anymore, we still know that stealing and doing all this stuff is bad. So, what I'm saying? So you can't say that you cared about yourself. You
In
know what
your
I'm
view,
saying?
in my view, you have to throw in my view in there.
You gotta
Because your view is not the world view.
You're right.
All right,
But
so you have to stay in my view.
but
Use your debate rules.
but in mental health, right? When one person starts to death out in those kind of areas, right? Those are what they call risky behaviors. That's a fact. So which means that they are at risk at losing their life or either having suicidal ideation. So you can't really say that if you do and they call sexual activity and doing all that stuff, and especially in bad quantities like that, risky behavior. So you can't say that you cared about yourself if you sit there and you have large body and that's and like I said, I did with fact. You can't sit there and debate that. That's no debate. Because HIV still can stay dormant for 10 years. That's a fact. Syphilis,
Miller be bringing the facts.
I wouldn't even get a conversation, but you broke it down like that, man. Because it's like, if you do think about it, at the time you're not thinking about those things. So so you're not, you know what I mean? You're not really thinking about your symptoms.
yeah,
I think that's what you basically trying to
yeah.
say. Yeah, until you come to the realization and mature, get older and stuff.
And I understand certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been in a long term relationship for maybe 5, 6, 7 years, and you like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? I get people lose themselves. But if you start getting in the 50s and 30s and 40s, or even like hell, even the 20s, I mean like we can even say 20. You know what I'm saying? Like because I've been in a situation before where I've been in some relationships. And I noticed I was losing myself. I'm like, you know what? No, this is not who I am. I don't like who I'm about to become. So I did not like that. So I brought myself back and was like, you know what? I'm not gonna
Allow myself to.
I'm not gonna allow. I felt like I was been a
right
very
here in my
strong.
face.
I was like I've been a very strong individual. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt like I'm so strong that I won't let any outside force change me. Change me, to a way that I feel like I lose myself. I always feel like I've been true to myself, even though I've been a kid. Like I've been the same. And like pretty much the essence of me has been the same. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no brothers. I didn't have no clique really outside tried to influence me, like I had friends that did drugs and all that stuff, but I didn't let none of that. I'm like, nah, I'm cool, bro. I'm cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I had homies that had over 200 parts.
So people who were weak to that, they didn't care about themselves, what you say. That's what they got to bring back around.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, think about it. You can't say that you care about yourself if you
I'm speaking as the person who was that.
Yes.
And they ain't gonna say I didn't care about myself.
They was ignorant to.
Yeah, I was ignorant to
that. Like you can still be ignorant and still not realize you don't care about yourself like you think you do. You may say you may think in the essence that you did, but you didn't. Hello? Because when you turn to risky behavior, you jeopardize your life, you jeopardize not being there for your family, jeopardize not, everything else. Like those are not behaviors yourself, because the Bayesian I know now is a Bayesian that is true to himself. Now who practice good behavior. Who practice good behavior, he can be there for his daughter and his and his son. You know what I'm saying? That's not like you're not practicing risky behavior. You're not out there in the street doing this and that, you know what I'm saying? You may see like everybody all fall short, he's all blessed, but there's a control to the matter. If you're out there having 50, 60, 100 body counts, you can't say you care about yourself. And I can't say if you do that, like if you still have to me, if you still practicing those behaviors, then you cannot care about my well-being as well. Because if you care about my well-being, now you're suggesting me to outside things that can, to hurt me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How? Because gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, and all that, they also stay dormant. If you look it up, these things are also turning into superbugs because the penicillin has been used so much that they're now resistant. Just like every definition of a virus doesn't want to kill you. It actually wants to live like everything else. It wants to live. But it's been evolving since you look it up in Atlanta, they had to declare a state of emergency because there were so many STDs that it would turn into superbugs. So penicillin was not even clearing out, was not even relieving people, of these issues.
You learn more in the barbershop than you do in college,
so if these things are superbugs where they cannot be curable, as the government say, we're not the government because we all feel like I say feel because we don't know for sure that there's a cure, but we feel like there's a cure for a lot of different shit, right? And you know what I'm saying? But I can't really say that's fact. But I feel like there's a cure for everything. But the government saying that there's not a cure for this stuff, then you're subjecting me into harm's way. If you care about me, I can't expect you to care about me if you don't care about yourself. Like what they're saying, you can't love someone at first you love what? Yourself. So how can you love me if you don't love yourself enough to take care of yourself first? To protect yourself and your loved ones that came from you. If your kids came from you. If you don't care enough to protect yourself or not even your loved ones, I see people who do a whole life change all because they had to. But if you tell me you had a seed that came from you and you can't even change for your seed, then you definitely can't change for me. Because the Bible says that a man who takes care of his family is worse than an infant. So if you don't take care of your family, you worse than the infant. Like you scum of the earth. So how can I, if you say your seed comes from you, how can I expect for you to love me if you can't love yourself and you can't love your seed and you definitely can't love me because I'm definitely gonna piss you off. I'm definitely gonna piss you off. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna say some shit that's gonna get up on your skin. I may have a bad day. I may, whatever it can be. So you definitely gonna you can't love me if you can't love yourself. So that's how I'm saying. Like
I ain't gonna allow you to.
The doctor has spoken.
I always feel firm on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like everybody, you can lose yourself, but it's harder when you lose yourself. Like, I know so many niggas going in raw motherfuckers like, dude, and I know so many women let a lot of niggas go in raw motherfuckers. Like, why? Why? You don't care about your simple. You don't care about yourself. You just say any motherfucker just go up inside of you, or you just go up inside anybody. You don't care about yourself, bro. Especially if you going in wrong. can't say you love yourself. You can't say you did. You can't say you did. I understand slip ups. I understand. But you just going in on a chronicle basis, on a consistent basis. You're devil. You're risking your life.
Next question, y'all, is monogamy a thing of the past for millennials and Gen Zers? Should we all be switching our taste to prefer multiple dating and relations? Yeah, please don't. We're alive. Please don't answer what you feel is, problematic. I don't necessarily think that we all should switch, but I'm not going to say that it hasn't switched. And a lot of people are jumping on to the new wave of the change. Yeah. I'm a 90s nigga, man. I'm a 90s dude, man. I ain't gonna change. I can't do this stuff. Not everything.
I believe. Okay, so this is what I believe. I believe it hasn't gone. Because as a man, I'm territorial, so I don't want nobody messing with my wife. You know what I'm saying? And so if I gotta say, if I gotta say, faithful to my wife, then But I do understand. I would say, open relationship is the key. I would say more so poly would maybe the new monogamy.
Yeah, that is the new monogamy.
Like I would say poly relationship is the new. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to have more than one partner, at least you can be safe. To me, it's not about safety security. At least you can be safe. You know what I'm saying? With your partners, and three incomes is better than one. You know, especially during these times when tariffs are high, taxes are high, child care is high. I just think like three incomes could be better. I mean, I see. I'm a non I'm married. I'm about my relationship, but I can see where poly will be the next best thing.
Good word swordsmanship.
Yeah, I can see. I can see where poly will be the next best thing other than monogamy. That's what I see. That is my point of view on it. But I'm monogamous. I'm married. I'm happily married.
Amen.
Miller's happily married.
I got your back, brother.
I do see a lot of benefits being in a poly relationship. But you can't be in no poly relationship with a third broke ass motherfucker.
You say y'all gotta have.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can't uplift each other, we can't go on. If
all factors have to be making some money and doing something with their lives.
If my partner has to be equally yoked with me, that means the third wheel has to be equally yoked with us. So if we can't all help in the pitching on these kids, we can't all help in the pitching on these family vacations. If you just there to be a babysitter, like we don't need you. Like we should be our lives to be better together, all around. We don't have issues, but in a relationship, but in the essence, our livelihood when it comes to financially, should be better.
Our views and opinions, they connect us, guys. Our differences is what makes us human. And the fact that we can have differences and still be able to coagulate, that means something, man. That's why I ask these questions, because everybody don't think the same. Every question don't hit everybody the same. Every question don't hit every believer the same. But sometimes you get a lot about a person's beliefs. I have a simple question. How do you question it? I agree with that. Can't be broke.
Times are hard.
They said nothing from nothing.
If what's that girl name? Cardi B can say both bitches shouldn't get no, then both bitches shouldn't get none either.
Yeah.
Can't get no dollar. But he said that you can't get no dollar out of me. We can't make this work. We gotta bring something to the table. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gotta bring something to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like it is like you can't just bring bodies. You know that eventually your body dwindles. We need benefits. like jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like who works a job? You know what I'm saying? Like now, people work temporary jobs just to get through. But if you want a long term job, you want benefits, you want PTO, you want holiday pay, you want insurance, you want accident insurance, you want 401k, you want to say you're gonna be investing in your future. So why would I want a fucking tip job when when I can go find a career, we go have a career. You just want to have a career with that person. Benefits, not just you just there just working on the clock. That's how I look at it, man. You can't be broke coming to a relationship where people got both people got money and financial stability.
That's just period. You know what I mean? Even if it ain't multiple people, you can't just come to a relationship broke.
Yeah.
If a person got something.
Yeah, like I understand if you're early in a relationship, we got to talking like I'm like 19, 20, something like that.
Yeah,
I get that,
age
but
of brain where y'all both ain't got nothing with it.
if you're in your 30s,
grown age.
if you're in your late 20s and 30s, you ain't got nothing to offer except for ass and body, then don't even get no relationship. Because what the fuck are you doing? Your priorities are wrong. You need to get your priorities aligned and take care of yourself, and then once that's added to you, then you go out there and you seek somebody. Because that's what Adam had. You want to go biblical? Adam had everything. He had a job. He was working. He had these things, but he was lonely. Adam, like, you know what I'm saying? And then he was added to help, to help lift him up, what I'm saying, in different avenues. You can't sit there and, think you want to have a partner, you can't, and you don't have nothing to offer. Like, take your ass back to work, and get off of social media. Yeah, you on social media for you got nothing to offer.
Lounging like that should be for people who got their self-established.
Yeah.
If you ain't got your self-established, you should be going to try to build something and not lounging.
Exactly. Why you playing 2K? Get your ass off the game.
The doctor has spoken. I need that DJ horn.
People don't like me. Like
We love you here.
I'm a person that that's not like my wife said. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I told my wife, I said, yeah. I said, depending on how you want your tea. Some people don't like sweet tea. You know what I'm saying? Raspberry tea, green tea. You know what I'm saying? You may like hot tea. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I am some tea. And I'm gonna give it to you.
Hey. That's what I'm talking about. Ozzy Miller is one of my favorite people when it comes to questions like this because he took the bait back in Ray South. Shout out to Ray South debate and Mr. Good.
I did parliament debate in college.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, at Longview.
I was in it then.
Yeah, my goal was to be a defense attorney, but after being in school for so long and life hits you, you just want to get out of college. So I
Get me out of here.
I said, I don't know if I can do this for 7 years. I was in a relationship and everything. I'm like, shit, I'm ready to get out. I'm tired. Yeah, I go. Hey, I'm gonna go to the car right quick.
You good? Your spot solidified.
Okay.
On me, man.
Oh no, I'm just getting started.
What's going on, Kids, how's school? Good? You like it? What's your favorite subject this year? Math. Client, nephew, favorite subject this week. Math.
He in that program at Moses, get college credit,
College credit.
doing credit.
I know that's right. Go on, set up that future, nephew. Stay in them books as long as you can, baby. To my YouTube viewers, man, look, I try not to cancel people. I ain't cancel, not a troll. I just timed you out for 5 minutes, man. Don't get on here asking me no weird questions, dog. If you wouldn't say it in my face, don't get on here saying it, alright? I'm really big about this. Because I don't like it when people talk different ways that they wouldn't say face to face with me. Like if you were standing there in my face, you would not dare talk to me like that.
Unless they're like 6 foot, 8 foot,
I don't
500
care who it is. I'm running your mouth. Here and hiding there. You feel me? Like straight up.
Let's do Mike Tyson.
I don't care if it's Mike Tyson. He just gonna have to beat me up, but he gonna know that he messed up. I'm sure.
I'm sorry. How much fear you really put into a nigga that had pet tigers? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not putting much fear.
I'm not trying. Listen, this is prison rule. All right,
I'm like,
this is what I learned from my uncles in prison. It don't matter if you win the fight.
I get that. I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this: there's not much fear you put into a nigga that had 2 pet tigers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like niggas like.
What's going on, nephew?
You know what I'm saying? Like under the big cat history. You know what I'm saying? The Siberian tiger is the biggest cat in the world. Then you got the lion, then you got the regular tiger after that, and everything. I mean, he had two of the biggest cats in the world.
And I'm gonna get that out of Hey, here goes the next question, y'all. If your child wants to be something, and we're talking about career-wise, that their personality does not agree with them becoming, do you tell them the truth, or do you allow them to live in their dream? A lot of parents in here. We gonna see. Me, I'm gonna kick it off. Now I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. If you want to be a goddamn engineer and you can't even engineer keeping your room clean, I'm gonna let you know the things that you are lacking on that'll probably stop you from that. I'm not gonna tell you can't never be that. But if you don't think this, how you gonna be that?
You know, that's a bad example.
I mean, hey, whatever
you know, because I know.
Let's just say that's not your example.
To me, that's a bad example.
That's not your example.
I'm gonna tell you what.
That's not your example.
No, I'm gonna tell you what. You're talking about cleaning compared to critically applying your mind into mathematically or computer concepts.
So why can't it translate into both?
Because
if you using your mind to critically think over here, why can't you critically think about putting your shoes, aligning your shoes, and aligning your socks, and folding your if you got to use your brain here, why do I got to differentiate? Oh, you can use your brain because you can't use your brain to keep clean.
Because I'm gonna tell you this. Because there's a difference between wanting to and needing to. That's a difference between wanting to and needing to. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like how many times you didn't want to go to school, but your parents said, I'm gonna whoop your ass if you don't go. Like, so now you need to go because you don't want to get your ass whooped. Like, you didn't want to go, but the difference between wanting to and needing to. So a person that knows how to apply their mind critically when they need to, you know what I'm saying? With there's different forms, there's different types of engineering. Cause my 2 older sons want to be engineers. So there's different, and I found out there's different types of engineering. Like you got computer engineering. Like what kind of engineer you want to be? Computer. So you got building engineering. You got all these different engineering components, you can go into, right? So I met a lot of brilliant minds. They're lazy. They're really lazy. But when it comes to their schoolwork and everything else, a lot of times they work in challenge and they didn't want to do the work. It didn't know it wasn't because they didn't know how to. It's just that they wasn't challenged. So how many times
when
you
you
hear about those
said
kids?
wanting to and needing to, a lot of the time kids tell you what they want to be because they want your validation. And in order to get my validation, I've got to match up.
But you know,
I mean, and maybe that's not for you.
no,
I agree.
The reason why I'm
me.
saying the reason why I'm saying it didn't matter because okay, so if they want to be if they want to be an accountant, right? And they want to be an accountant. We all know that requires math, right? And that's a really high level of math, right? But if you're struggling in basic algebra and timetables,
But if I tell you to only grab two things out this box and you grab 4 or 5, obviously your math ain't math.
but to me, we gotta take into the consideration of the age of the kids and everything else. Because if the kids in high school and struggling, then yeah, I was like, hey, let's try to look at different routes. But if they elementary, because I remember elementary, I struggled a lot. And then all of a sudden, when I joined a whole bunch of activities at school, my GPA shot up from a 1.8 to 2.0 to a 3.6, 3.7. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying like just because it depends on the person, the age of the person. If the person's in high school and struggling, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, you kind of evaluate it. But the kids in elementary, I wouldn't rule it out, but I was like, hey, you need to work on these things to get to achieve this dream.
I mean, call me the bad guy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat.
But if it's in elementary, you gotta work on. You gotta know, like, work on these.
Like in them words. I'm not gonna PF with you. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Because anybody can change from elementary. You know what I'm saying?
And I want you to change, but
I'm saying,
how do you help a person become better if you don't tell them what they lack in math?
You know what I'm saying? Like if they're in elementary, you work with them and say, hey, you're not as strong in this area. Let's work on. You help them work on this area. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's critical thinking, whether it's reading fundamental, whether it's reading comprehension, whatever the case may be, you help get them there when they're at a young age. Now I'm not saying it's completely lost when it's in high school, but when you're like a junior, senior in high school, and you talk about you want to be an engineer, and your grades are bad, and really trying and applying yourself, and you're struggling, and the one thing you probably need, which is computer and math and science, then yeah, I would like maybe it's time for you to explore different avenues. And you try this trade school. They got like maybe 30 different trade school programs now. Whether it's dental hygiene, that's a trade school now. I'm like, hey, you thought about doing that? Hey, you thought about being a senior, or after high school, or think about at least your sophomore year, what you gonna do? So
basically keeping it real with them on what they doing, right? I mean,
because I feel like this. I'm assuming these are your sons, right? So you wouldn't tell him the same. You wouldn't give him the same advice that you would give him at the current ages that they are right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you would
different age.
exactly. So if I'm gonna have the birds and the bees talk with him, I'm not gonna have it with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna cater it. You know what I'm saying, to the necessary age where you feel like they need to have this talk. I'm not going to kill his dreams. If he says he wants to be this, I'm not going to say, son, you can't be that. You know what I'm saying?
I think,
but if he's in high school, he's a junior or senior, and I'm like, hey, you struggling in basic algebra. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
I don't say
what I do is like, me and you, we're all five. Don't get enough with you all, son.
Yeah, hell, you know, keep me out of it.
But no, like, even when they're younger, like, even when you was younger, like, I'd be like, hey, you want to go to the NBA? A lot of people that want to go to the NBA. But I'm not going to tell you that you can't go, but I'm going to say, hey, this is what it will have to take to get to that point. However, to statistically, I got to keep it real with you.
I didn't say confident.
You know, I'm like, hey, you know, these are the numbers, but you can go pro in something just being a professional athlete.
Yeah.
You can be a sports agent. You can be this. So I'm laying out the whole
different avenues.
Not, you know, like at an earlier age, just so they'll know, like, hey, okay, they didn't tell me I couldn't, but he said, hey, you know, if it don't happen, you know.
I come from the process of when I told my people what I wanted to do, my grandparents, they didn't try to crush my dreams or nothing or tell me the reality. They just, oh, you want to be that, baby? You can be that. Not pointing out the fact that I'm not doing this and that and all the other stuff. They just kept. I would rather you keep it real with me because that's what I come to you for. When I say I want to be this, I want to honestly hear your feedback. I don't want you to tell me no sugarcoat stuff. I don't even care if I'm 4 years old or 14 years old. I want you to tell me what's cracking because I asked you for your opinion.
Because when the world gets to them and tell them what we had wasn't sugarcoating, quote unquote, and they get hurt, and then they coming back to us. Like,
why you tell me that?
So now that's causing friction between you and.
I never said don't like. Hey,
no, I ain't talking about you. I'm just saying in general.
Like if all my kids would tell you that I'm probably the most ruthless, honest guy. Like I let them have it. He'll tell you. Like I don't like so I'm a person of different facts, right? So my son will tell you. I showed him statistics. How many students come out each year in high school? How many students come out each year in college? And how many players get drafted? You know, I showed them all these stats. I showed them all these things. And I said, not saying you can't do it, but
Here's what
you need to get a scholarship and get a scholarship in a decent paying, in a decent paying field where you can take care of your family and yourself. Just, you know what I'm saying? I said, I don't care if you go D1, I don't care if you go D2. Just have them pay for your college, no matter what.
That's the other part of telling kids real stuff, like because my grandparents chose to not tell me some real situations and things, and that hindered me. Like I wish they would have been like, you know what, it's hard. Here's the truth.
You know what?
Right when I needed to hear the truth, not weeks, years, and
But
later.
you know what? Also too, when people get the truth, you know, when the kids get that, see, they would tell me like, hey, you know, have a backup plan, and you know, I get upset because I'm like, man, my plan A is gonna stay my plan A. It ain't no plan B or C, you know. But over time, as I got older and mature more, I understood why they were trying to say that because they were keeping it real with me. Yeah. And so then, when stuff didn't go a certain kind of way, whether I wanted to face that reality or not, I revert back to how they, you know, broke stuff down to me. I'm like, well, they did in hindsight. Keep it real with me.
You know,
it's just.
You know, not think about it. You know, not think about it. I've been rocking with Beijing ever since 2016 now, right? In my hair. And I can tell you this man is stubborn. So I believe even if a younger Beijing, if his grandparents would have told him and kept it real with him, would he have proceeded and received what they were saying? You know what I'm saying? When you said, man, I'm gonna do, you know, I know I can